Welcome back to another edition of DCM Online Academy. I'm your teacher, Matt Struck, but I'm not a regular teacher, I'm a cool teacher. And I want to show you the settings on the DJI Osmo Pocket 3. My colleague Megan already made a walkthrough video showing all the different pieces that come with the Osmo kit when you check it out. So if you haven't seen that yet, go and check that out first and come back here and we're going to go through the settings. So first things first, let's go and turn the Osmo on. Unlike many cameras, the Osmo actually turns on with this flip rotate screen. This camera is incredibly user-friendly and it's pretty intuitive. So if you notice, you have a joystick here, which allows you to go up, down, left, right, and can even flip this around 180 degrees. You have your record button. And for this demonstration, I do have the sounds turned on, but you have a way to turn those off, and we'll get into that later on. What's also really fascinating is that the Osmo actually allows you to connect to an app where you can have access to the same controls. And I love this because sometimes I really like putting an angle up high or maybe putting in the corner where you can't see from behind. And then you don't want to flip the screen around because you might be recording someone doing an interview and you don't want it to affect the performance. So if you'll notice, I have the app opened up on my phone and it's actually giving a mirror image. And what's really nice is this allows you to control the direction of where the camera is pointed and also allows you to start and stop. The Osmo kit also comes with a slightly wider lens, and this is magnetic and it will just click to the top of the camera. So because we're recording with two Osmos today, I'm going to show you what this looks like without it on so you can compare and contrast, and then show you what it's like when it is on. So here it is without it, and there it is with it. So it gives a slightly larger image and makes it so that way if you're ever recording in tight spaces, it can give just a little bit more distance between you and the subject. So we could take that off. The DJI Osmo Pocket 3 is an amazing camera if you're interested in vlogging, documentary, and just kind of on-the-run filmmaking. One of the big benefits is actually this Bluetooth microphone, and I will actually show you today how easy it is to sync. So what you do is you just power it on, give it a second, and you'll actually see it's already Bluetooth connected to the Osmo, and it tells you how much battery power you have left. You will see this green bar that is on top that will let you know that you're getting a signal, and you can actually have Bluetooth linked up to two different microphones at the same time. So this is great for interviews. You and your subject can both be mic'd up. And what's really neat is you can actually pan each microphone to each channel. So then you could have the host on the left channel and then the subject on the right. So then afterwards in post-production, you could actually change the levels without the audio being mixed in together, baked in, gives you just a bit more control. There's also a setting on here that is actually called built-in mic audio backup. So what this allows is that this microphone up front is also recording. So then you could have two Bluetooth mics going and the microphone on here. So that way afterwards in the edit, if someone's microphone maybe catches a little bit of wind or you just can't hear them properly, you can actually use the mic audio from here. And again, if you've ever done filmmaking or you've been on the run, getting video and audio to sync up can be so difficult. And this product makes it almost seamless. And because you have a visual display, you can actually make sure that the mic is being recorded at all times, which truly is just a lifesaver. So next, I do want to walk you through all the different menu settings that the DJI Osmo Pocket 3 has. So in order to access the menu, you just swipe from up top, and this will allow you all kinds of different ones. You have your profile settings, your auto record settings, your brightness display, your face tracking, your general settings, your landscape versus horizontal settings, and then basically how the Osmo behaves with those two. So to start, I'm going to be turning this face tracking off. So what this allows for is when you turn it into selfie mode, it's going to look for a face and be able to follow it. So we're going to turn it back on so that way I can show you. Boom, boom, boom. Okay, so now we are in selfie mode. I'm going to hit record so that you can see kind of what happens. And at a certain point, it should be able to detect my face. Okay, so the active track has been enabled. And this is another powerful piece because this will allow you to set up the Osmo and be able to walk around and it will actually follow you. So I've done a lot of different shoots where I haven't been able to have a camera person with me, but I still want it to have a little bit of movement and be just a little bit more dynamic. So this is another way to create more interesting videos and vlogs because it just has a little bit more movement, it has a little bit more life. What's really great is the face tracking can also work in the other direction. So if you're following someone and you don't want to keep using the joystick, you can actually double tap and select their face. Since I'm alone here in the studio today, I won't be able to show you that, but it's just another good thing to know. Another amazing feature of the DJI Osmo Pocket 3 is its ability to go from vertical to horizontal. Have you ever edited a video and you needed it for Instagram Reels or TikTok, so then you end up like stretching it out and it looks terrible? Well, this is great because if you are wanting to film long form YouTube videos, you can keep it horizontal. But if you want to switch over to vertical, you actually can just switch it. So this is a great example of using the settings in your favor. So right now I did the rotate, but as you can see, it is still going to be in landscape mode. So what we want to do is go into settings. This is great. We're teaching on the fly. We have portrait or auto rotation. I like to use auto rotation because I just find it's easier to kind of be able to switch between the two. So this is how I would shoot a long form YouTube video going horizontal. But let's say that there's a little moment that I want to get and I'm like, oh, I just want to make a quick reel of this later. What you do is you flip it vertical, you hit continue, and now it's actually going to be able to stay as a vertical video without you having to zoom in or crop it in post. So this is another great benefit to really being able to just make things as you go and just try to stay out of the edit room as much as possible. We'll switch back. There is a setting in here that if you flip it back, it will count down to power off. Next, I want to walk you through the interface. So in order to access all the settings, you swipe from up top. In order to review the footage that you want to see, swipe from the left. It will populate, and you can even see. And then you can watch all the videos that you recorded. This takes you back. Here is actually your settings. So we have video, low light. I would highly suggest using low light if you are going to be filming a performance or a play. I took this to a play once and I did not know about the low light setting and I was just shooting in video and the footage came back really grainy. So if you're in a low light situation, I highly suggest you use it. We also have slow-mo, we have motion lapse, photo, and panorama. Today we're going to be focusing on video, and next I want to show you how you can access the different frame rates and the different sizes. So you have a resolution of 4K, 2.7K, and at its lowest 1080p. Sometimes with 1080p it's nice to record in that, especially if you don't have a big memory card. Let me show you an example. So if we were recording in 1080p, that would give us 5 hours of recording time. You can see that up on the upper left part. But because I am a high quality nerd, I like to film in 4K. So then that takes us back down to 2 hours. I would stay away from the slow motion personally. I actually went to Cinco de Mayo and I shot some really awesome footage, but when I reviewed it, it kind of came back grainy and not that high quality. So instead of shooting slow motion, I would actually suggest that you stay in video and you change your recording to 60 frames per second, and then you can actually slow that down in post. So I want to show you some footage that I shot. Here it is at regular speed. Nice and clean, smooth. And then here it is slowed down. So if I could do it again and go back to Cinco de Mayo, I would have just done the 60 frames per second and slowed it down, but it's okay. You win some, you lose some, but still it's such a powerful tool. So for the final part of panel navigation, I want to show you the Pro mode. So here is where you could have a lot more control over all the manual settings, things like exposure, color balance, the white balance, and that is for when you become more advanced. I would say for the most part, I have just used the auto settings because the color that comes out of this is really great. The stabilization is really great. And I am yet to get too far deep into this. I think what's powerful about the DJI Osmo Pocket 3 is the ability to kind of film something, drop the footage, put it together, and put it up on the internet. I know for some filmmakers, it can be a little bit more in depth, so these kinds of settings come in handy. If you're interested in exploring those, I would say book some time with me here at Denver Community Media, and we can actually walk through it. But for the most part, you will just need to stay in the general settings. So I'm going to reset all of this so that way it is optimal as if I were to be going out into the field. 24 frames per second, 4K. And there is a feature which allows you to zoom in. I will say that you do lose a little bit of quality when you zoom in. So I'm actually a fan of just moving in closer or getting the subject closer, or in post actually punching in. Because it's a 4K image, you are going to be able to have a little bit of quality to be able to play with. So you don't have to necessarily stay at what you shot at. You can zoom in a little without losing that quality. Before we head out, I do want to show you how you can change how the gimbal itself behaves while you're using it. So in order to access this, you want to swipe down, pull up your menu. Here we have the rotational speed. So we have slow, which is a little bit slower moving, so that way you can have smoother shots. We have the default mode, which is actually suitable for most scenarios. And then we have fast. And I would think for sports, or maybe you're shooting an action scene, or you just want to add a level of hecticness to something, you could go with fast. But we're going to go with default because I like it. Boom. These next three settings are how the gimbal itself behaves. So let's start with follow. So follow mode is suitable for most scenarios, including vlogs and selfie videos. So let's go and select that. And you'll notice with follow, it's kind of following along to the movements, but has like a little bit of a delay. It also allows you to go up and down, but it's slow and it doesn't feel completely robotic. There's actually a human feel to it. So I actually like that. It kind of keeps things feeling organic, but let me show you this. All right, tilt locked. In tilt lock mode, the horizon line is level, which is suitable for scenarios with camera movements such as push-ins, pull-out, and pan. So let's go and select that. And you'll notice that even though I'm moving side to side and up and down, it's actually only allowing me to move side to side. And if I go up and down, it stays tilt locked, which again, for control reasons, you don't want an image that's going up and down. Sometimes the tilt lock comes really in handy. And then we have FPV. In this mode, the camera rotates freely and follows device movement, which is suitable for creative shots. So this, I imagine, could be a shot where maybe it's the character's perspective and you want to show them passing out to the side, for example, right? So you could go, whoa, and you'll actually notice that the whole camera will go sideways. And then last but not least, we have FPV lock. Camera always keeps the same direction with the touchscreen, suitable for quickly capturing subjects directly facing the touchscreen. So let's go and try it. Okay, so you'll notice with this that this is feeling like it is locked to this touchscreen. So no matter where you move, it is going to follow. That's kind of the deeper dive on all the DJI Osmo settings. I would say before you go out and film with it, I would check it out and spend a couple hours just experimenting, getting used to the settings, watching this video. And there's also other creators online that go even deeper into this. So it kind of depends how much you want to learn, but this thing is great for storytelling, great for vlogging, great for documentaries. And I cannot wait for you to check it out and have some fun with it. Thank you so much for watching, and we'll see you next time. Thank you so much, and I hope you really enjoyed that deep dive on the Osmo Pocket 3. I wanted to record a separate piece that covers 2 more things that didn't make it in the original cut. So go ahead and meet me over at camera 3. So the first thing I want to show you is how to turn the sounds on and off. Sometimes when you're recording a subject, it can be less distracting if it's silent, or if you do want to have it so that way you just get a auditory confirmation that you're recording, it can help. So what you do is you go into your settings, general settings, and then you're going to scroll down to the sound option. Here you have high, medium, low, and mute. Personally, I like to keep mine on mute because I don't like subjects knowing when I'm recording or not, because sometimes people can just freeze up and get really weird. So I keep mine on mute. Next, I want to show you how to format your card before you start filming. Meet me over at camera 3. All right, so what you want to do is you want to go down. You're going to go into your general settings. Then you scroll all the way to the bottom. And then you'll get to format card. And then you'll just swipe to format. Thank you so much for tuning in, and we can't wait for you to be able to check this thing out and get into the field and just make some stuff of your own. Have a good one.